The LeBron 9.
The LeBron 9 is another one that's like a favorite of people's. The LeBron 9, I love the LeBron 9 Elite, but the LeBron 9, the 4-foot cushion was hard as shit. The back cushion was pretty good. The shoe overall reminded me of a penny shoe, like how it's air in the front, zoom in, or air in the back and zoom in the front, but they didn't have that smooth transition that a penny shoe does. The toe of that shoe was hard as f. And talk about like toe jamming, like that's the shoe that probably would have f***ing wrecked my toenails. And so like I had to go up half a size just to avoid that.
Yeah.
And then it still like would do it. It had some really great features though. It had these lockdown wings at the ankle. They were amazing. And so like some brands have still used things like that and they were awesome. So, but yeah, I think that shoe had some pluses, but overall I just didn't like them.
Is it called the Adidas Power or Adidas Power?
It's called the Adidas Adidas Power Howard 1.
Well, that's your next shoe.
That shoe was bad, man. The traction was awful. The cushion sucked ass. Sucked ass. Hardcore. The shoe looked disgusting too. Like they try to like throw in that like classic shell toe look. But yeah, I think that the Adidas Power Howard was an awful shoe. The successor to it was an amazing shoe.
It made
it made my favorites list. So I think that that's cool.
The Adidas Crazy Light 1.
Crazy Light 1? Oh, I remember. Yeah, so that was the very first shoe that was like crazy light. Like that was the one where the ad campaigns for that was so awesome. Do you remember? They were taking shoes from every brand and literally cutting them in half.
Like a samurai?
I think they did use a samurai sword, and they were doing stuff like that. They were cutting off enough of the shoe to reduce its weight. Like this is how much of the shoe you need to remove to make it 9.6 ounces, which is what the Crazy Light weighed.
That's cool.
It was dope, dude. It was like one of the coolest. That's that's cutthroat marketing, like guerrilla style marketing, where like you're going after, like you're not like footing around, like you're being like, no, you. I think that is cool, just because it creates real competition in the space. You know what I mean? And so I really liked their marketing campaign for the sneaker. But the shoe that I was wearing was the Derrick Rose version, and it had like a synthetic kind of like nubuck upper, and it was this weird webbed upper, and so like a lot of it was just missing, and they replaced it with these little thin pieces of screen mesh. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
With the red bottoms. Cushion on that shoe was great. The traction was great. What do they call it? The speed frame or something like that? It was like this plastic heel counter that went underneath your foot. That thing worked great, but the upper was so f***ing thin, and I'm a 4-foot player, so like I would go and I'd go to stop real quick, and the upper would fold over, and so my whole foot would roll over the footbed, and I would roll my ankle in such a weird way and it happened every time. Every time I brought those out, and that was the first time that I ever got seeded a product from a brand, and I remember like being like, what do I do? Like, do I not review the shoe? Do I tell the truth?
Yeah.
Or what do I do? Because like I don't want to like piss anybody off, but at the same time like this shoe is kind of dangerous to play in. And so I just went with my gut and I just do what I do. And I just talked about the shoe. I said that it was dangerous to play in. I watched Derrick Rose twist his ankle the same way that I did mine. And I was just like, if a guy like is going that fast and stuff like that, like they're no good, man. And so and he was wearing their like speed brace or speed wrap or whatever their little
you had those.
Yeah, those were okay, but they only work for like certain movements.
Yeah.
But like that 4-foot, like you don't want to roll your ankle like that. Yeah, that shoe was awful and it was dangerous to play in, and I remember playing in the low top version of them. They were better, but the material that they used was a lot stronger. And so I didn't have that same like crumpling material. That synthetic that they used was awful. Awful shoe. Really bad.
Air Jordan 3.
That was with the lovely...
Can you be rapid fire with that?
That was with the lovely Air Jordan Project. I love that shoe. I still wear that shoe almost on a daily basis, but I will not play in them. That shoe wrecked my knees. I wish that I would be able to play in the originals, because those had like the good polyurethane, but the ones that I played in was like the 2011 ones, and the polyurethane on those joints is like rock hard, man.
What's the BB stand for?
Is that the Under Armour Charged
Yeah.
BB? That was just what the shoe was called.
Okay.
The Under Armour Charged BB, a calf condom. That shoe was crazy. That shoe was hideous. There was a low top version that didn't have that calf piece.
Did they make it after the fact?
Yes, and those were cool, like looking, in my opinion. Under Armour used to do really dope. Right now they've been playing it super safe. They haven't been doing much of anything. You know what I mean? Like they don't have anything good as far as cushion other than hover, but they're like very slow to implement it into basketball. I think
they have the Havoc.
They have the Havoc, which is a good shoe. It's one of the best shoes that they put out in a very long time. But the Charged BB had some of the worst traction I think I've ever used. The cushion was amazing because it was original micro G. That is f***ing so good, dude. Like I miss that cushion, man. That was, like I said, man, Under Armour stuff back in the day was dope. Even though that shoe wasn't. And then the shoes fit. The shoes fit, that's what they really played up, that whole everything, that weird look and everything. They were just like, yeah, the lockdown and the mobility, you get the support of a high top, but the mobility of a low. But the placement of all of those eyelets was so far off that you couldn't get lockdown anyway. So the support in the shoe overall was garbage. It was such a non-functional lacing system.
Did they even have anybody in the NBA playing in them?
In that shoe, I think they had a couple of people, but like it wasn't Steph or anything. Like they had Brandon Jennings, and I don't know who else was on their roster back then, but they had very few athletes, and Jennings had his own signature at that time, like his own little line. So most of the time he was probably wearing those. I don't remember who was wearing the Charge BB, but I remember that being just like, that might be one of the worst of all time. Like
well, that's what everybody brought up. Like, how could you forget?
Well, so that's the thing. That's where this video is coming from, is that like you asked me on the spot, and it's just like, well, I don't remember. Like that's like asking me and people do this, what issue of Nightwing is your favorite? I'm like, do you know how many issues are in this little brain of mine? They're all melted together, you know what I mean? And that's what this is. Like I have a lot of things that I know, but you have to give me a minute to think about it, because like otherwise, like I'm just like, whatever the most recent thing is what will come to my mind.
The Spalding Jimmer.
The Jimmer Fredette shoe from Spalding was another shoe that I liked portions of it, but that was another shoe where I just refused to talk about it, because them shoes hurt my toes, man. Like they hurt. There was this weird plastic rim.
Okay.
And they would just dig into my toes so badly. The cushion on that shoe was really good. The traction on that shoe was also really good. The fit, not so much. And that was another shoe where I was just like, I'm not talking about these. And a lot of people got mad, being like, oh, you're biased, this, that, and the other. And I was just like, dude, I'm buying these shoes myself. Like you can't be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. And like I said, the Crazy Light, I definitely wasn't biased about that. And that was my first seeded product. The LeBrons that I didn't talk about, wasn't biased about that. I just didn't like them. Like I've been the same way for nearly 10 years now. So I just think it's weird that people always try to put their bias on me, as if like you're the one that's biased against me or whatever I do, and I'm not the one that's actually biased. I'm like trying to stay as neutral as possible while letting you understand that I have my own preferences, you know what I mean? And that's what I try to like push on to other people, is that you have your own preferences. Just because that foam Posite don't work for me, I know a handful of people that love playing in that shoe. I think they're crazy, but they love playing in that shoe, and I think that's great that they love that shoe works for them, you know what I mean? So
well,
it is what it is.
I don't like to trash things.
I don't like to like purposely trash things. As I'm getting older and I know how the brands work, more specifically the PR side of the brands, the less I care about their feelings. And you can tell who's friends with the PR people, because those are the people with all of the, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, I don't know, dude, like this business is just as shady. This industry is just as shady as any other corrupt business. And it sucks being one of the only people that refuse to lick up someone else's butthole. You know what I mean? Like I just refuse to do it. So like all of these people at all of these brands that are those PR people, like sorry man, I'm just not kissing your ass for nothing.
The Adidas Team Mac 1.
That was a 2x4 with laces. That shoe would not move either. That I think is worse than the foam Posite as far as maneuverability goes. As far as moving, like actually running in the shoe, I could not do it. I thought that my shins were gonna snap off. Yeah, they were not fun. They look cool. That was a shoe that actually did do the shell toe nicely, I think. I like that shoe, and the colorway that I had was dope too. They were the St. Vincent, St. Mary's. It was the PE that LeBron wore in high school. So they were like green toe with white back and with like some gold trim. They were fresh, but that shoe sucked.
The Hyperflight.
The Hyperflight?
Yeah, Nike.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, that's a shoe that I think is so awesome. The purple ones, the Jason Williams ones that he wore in Sacramento. But that shoe is an ankle roll waiting to happen. Like,
did you?
Yes, and I just didn't play in them again. It only happened once, and I was like, nope, I'm good. And I was like, these things, man. They look awesome though, dude. That shoe is so dope. Yeah, I never did the performance review because I was like, nah, these, man. Nobody needs to wear these, period. I'm surprised that these guys played in them. Like Jason Williams, especially how shifty he was. That fool cooked in those shoes, and I couldn't do it.
The Nike Barkley Posite?
Yes, that shoe was dope too, but another brick. They were very stiff. The forefoot was super stiff. Very comfortable shoe, very cool looking. And that's another one that was a sportswear shoe. So I'm not like.
Well, I was gonna ask, was it like a retro of the Barkley? Because he wasn't even playing it.
Yeah, it was a mashup. It was like a hybrid. So it's like it wasn't meant for basketball. I was just playing it just to see, and it just wasn't a good thing.
The KD5 Elite.
That shoe sucked ass too. That shoe was like playing in a f***ing high heel, like a low top high heel.
Really?
Yeah, because like, you know those shoes that like some old people wear with actual springs in them?
Yeah.
That's what that shoe reminded me of. And they were just bad. The traction on that shoe was awful too. The rubber that they used, and they encased everything. They encased the Zoom. In the back, it was this giant f***ing Zoom Air unit, and they encased it so bad that you couldn't feel shit. Oh. But it looked like a spring shoe, and it did not feel like a spring shoe. It felt like you felt like you were slapping on the floor.
So they didn't bend at all?
I didn't have fun in those.
The Reebok Answer 1.
The Reebok Answer, oh yeah. So the Reebok Answer 1 is one of the white and red ones is like a grail of mine, which I finally got, which is awesome. But the last time that they retroed a few colorways without that one. They retroed the black and gold original colorway. They retroed the original All-Star colorway with the blue patent leather. They retroed the alternate All-Star with red patent leather and all that stuff. So they retroed like a number of colorways plus some new colorways that were great, and I was so excited to play in this shoe. And that was another one where I rolled my ankle day one, and I was like, man, this, dude. Like, I was like, I'm done, dude. Like, I'm not doing this, man. As soon as I tweak my ankles, I can't play in the shoe anymore.
Well, because you're like, not you, but I would say you're scared. Like, you don't.
That's exactly what it is that I'm scared. I turn into a big and I'm just like, this, man. I'm not doing this. And like a professional athlete, like I actually do rely on this to like provide for the family and stuff. So it's like if I injure myself to the point to where I can't play for a couple of weeks, as soon as anything gives me the slightest inclination that my ankle could be in jeopardy, I'm just like, that shit, dude, I'm not doing it.
Your last one is the LeBron.
No, this is the last one?
Yeah. You made it. The LeBron 12 Low.
The LeBron 12 Low was one that people were dropping in the comments of that other Real Talk video. But yeah, that was another one where my ankles were not having a good time. That shoe looked dope though. That shoe looked dope. Mm-hmm. They had the Hex Zoom units in the front, real comfortable, like Air Max unit in the back. The upper was super comfortable too. The shoe looked great, but man, that shoe, every time I would do something in them, I would roll my ankle, and it just was not the business. Those are, from my experience, out of everything that I've been testing from 2009, without counting like this year's or some of the most recent stuff, those are some of just the worst shoes I've ever tested, and I would not recommend a single one to any person. But if any of them do work for you, let me know. Like, I think that's fascinating when I see, like, there's this one dude in the NBA that only wears the Air Max 90 to hoop in.
What?
Right? He only wears the Air Max 90. I don't know how he does it, because that shoe's not comfortable to me. That's like playing a pair of threes. But like, he only wears the Air Max 90 to hoop in, and everybody thinks he's crazy. But that's what I'm saying, is that whatever works for you, bro, like if it works for you, that's cool. I'm not gonna be mad at it, you know what I mean? Like, I think that you're crazy, like I said, but at the same time, it's like, I think that that's cool. So I'm sure that there's a number of shoes on this list that some people love, or they still play in today, or whatever. Like, and if there is, let me know, because I'd love to hear from you guys. But yeah, those are the shoes that I absolutely hate. I cannot stand those shoes. I will never lace those up to playing ever again. And been doing this for too long, man. It's next year, 2019, will be 10 years of wear testing, giving performance reviews on the YouTube platform and all that stuff, and that's fucking weird to think about.
It's cool.
It's cool, but it's weird. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you've been watching since 2009. I really appreciate it, and until next time, guys, have a good one. Be safe out there. Happy Halloween. Get some candy, and that's it. Peace.